Well, you can imagine how difficult this is. Atlanta's mayor says she's working on how to get food to students who now school's going to be shut down for a while, but whose families rely on the schools to provide the food. Right? It's part of a growing emergency, actually in different spots around the country, as officials try to stop the spread of coronavirus and therefore are shutting down things like school districts. The superintendent of Atlanta Public Schools is joining us live this morning. I have Dr. Meria Carstarphen, who's been kind enough, and you're very busy, to be with us today. Thank you. So that's first at the top of our minds, right? How are you trying to help people who may be insecure with food insecurity with the kids?
Right, and good morning. It's nice to see you, Robin. So we have a pretty elaborate plan around food service for our students. It is going to require that we work with partners. We have teamed up with our local community food bank, including a nonprofit organization called Gooder. They will allow for us to be able to prepare, package, and then distribute food in other sites around our school community. In particular, we're going to pick 5 to 7 sites in our district, and they will be schools. But in addition to that, we'll be able to work with upwards of 50+ sites through our community food bank, where families can still go to get food that they need, not only meals during the day, but food that can be cooked at home throughout the week.
That's good. Okay, so this doesn't start till Monday, and we are, talking to a national audience here, but other districts may be looking at your example and wondering, why did you decide this is the best idea to close starting on Monday, and you're giving your teachers, I guess, one day to send everybody home with their online learning tools? Why did you decide it was necessary?
Right. Well, I mean, for us, our district was sandwiched between 2 counties where cases were beginning to emerge. And the way our community works is pretty much maybe a little similar or different to other districts. But at the end of the day, only about 27% of our teaching staff live within the city of Atlanta. So a lot of teachers, a lot of support staff are outside of our community, living in those counties, sending their kids to the schools where the cases were found, and those families, of course, are coming back to their homes and being with the teachers and the staff members who are coming into the city of Atlanta to teach and serve our kids. So we did what is arguably a preemptive strike. We wanted to get in front of as much of the spread as possible. Containment, at least from some of the experts here in Georgia, was presented as an option to move us closer to mitigation. We know that testing for the coronavirus is very limited. We are not able to turn around enough results for us to feel comfortable with being able to control much of the spread. We don't know enough about the virus itself to feel like we were able to put children and our staff members and their families at risk, not knowing some of those answers. So it is true. It is a very aggressive strategy, and we started at the beginning with that end in mind. So I think that a lot of the work we did, especially building out our food plan and a little bit about technology, which has still been very clunky for us and will be for a lot of districts around the country, that's probably something else that our cities and our communities could do to help us.
Yeah, the online learning, first you got to be able to get online. What about, what can you say to the parents, or what have you been able to provide to the parents who are like, wait a minute, if my kid's home, I got to be home now and I got to make money at work?
Yeah, so this is something that we as a school system started talking to the influencers in our city at least a few weeks ago, putting those questions on the table, asking a lot of our employers, especially the largest employers. Atlanta has a lot of headquarters for global companies here. And in those conversations, we did say, if we have to make the call to close our district, will caregivers be at home to receive their children? Now, it's been a soft rollout, I think, across our city, and different companies will be talking about that when it's appropriate for them. That's not my story to tell, but I do feel comfortable, and I've been very proud of our Atlanta Committee for Progress. They are a lot of the corporate heads in our community who have allowed their workers to telework, which means that we have families at home. They've even started stepping up our conversations about that technology piece. We really do need open access Wi-Fi across our entire city and our counties, and I would say that many school districts across the country need that too. Not every kid has the resources to have the support for technology in their homes, and it's an essential. It's as essential as food for us to be able to fully serve kids while they're at home, and we're trying to teach them.
Yeah, food insecurities as well as the technology insecurities. Yeah. Hey, Meria, really fast here. I've been talking to you as a superintendent. Now I want to talk to you as a person, a human going through this. What are you most concerned about?
Oh, you know, I am concerned for our most vulnerable populations. I am absolutely concerned for the elderly. Atlanta has a large homeless population. We have over 1,000 plus students who are also homeless. You know, I'm not sure what those environments are like when they are in shelters or sometimes not in shelters. They don't have access to running water consistently, and a lot of them have what the experts are saying from the Department of Health, a lot of pre-existing health conditions that make them even more vulnerable for not only contracting the virus, but spreading the virus. So that, I think, is part of the fear that people feel, and superintendents are human too. So when you are responsible for other people's children, you have a great sense of pressure on yourself to make these decisions, make them swiftly but smartly at the same time, and that is I think that's a challenge for all of us, but those vulnerable populations are basically what kept me up at night, and I think actually put the right kind of pressure on me to have strategies. We were working on strategies weeks ago to be prepared for this very day. It won't be perfect, but I do believe we are in a much better spot for being able to roll out all that our families would need to the best of our ability than most districts. I will tell you, the conversations I was in were all about only closing or only considering closing if a case presented itself. And we started working on the opposite side. Before a case presents itself, what can we do to help with containment and mitigation?
Dr. Meria Carstarphen, who is a superintendent of schools for Atlanta City Public Schools, and they're going to be closing starting on Monday for a couple of weeks here. Thanks for sharing your plan, but also for sharing your heart. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Robin.
Yeah.